What up, world? This is your brother Manny here. Hope you have a blessed day, and hope you have a blessed day. Uh, Listen, I'm just gonna do my biggest surprise and impress and disappoint teams in the NBA. We'll start with the Eastern Conference. We start with the New York Knicks. With the New York Knicks, my New York Knicks, I'm a fan of the team since I was young. They won 50 games, second best in the Eastern Conference. Who would have thought that? Especially when injuries was piled from the Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, and also don't forget the trade of getting Anunoby. They had to give up R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, one of their future players, and even also the February trade of Boban Bogdanovic, as well as Alec Burks in exchange for our Quentin Grimes. Jalen Brunson, man, what more can you say? I mean, the guy is averaging over 28 and almost 7 assists a game. And, this guy is the truth. 2 years ago when he signed with the Knicks, people thought it was overpaid, but since then he became an all-star and most likely an all-NBA player, and I think he's going to have another spectacular postseason. And listen, also the most impressive is the emergence of Dante DiVincenzo, his teammate Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein, who replaced Mitchell Robinson as a starting lineup. And he's been playing well. Petrus Achua give you something off the bench, and as well as Deuce McBride. And I also think Top should be mentioned as coach of should be respected as well, because leading the team to 50 wins despite the various injuries. You gotta give him credit where credit's due. My other second team that impressed me was the Orlando Magic. But I expect this team to be better, but I didn't expect them to be a fifth seed in the playoffs. I mean, listen, Pablo Capello is the deal. I think he's having and proving that he's not going to prove that his sophomore slump is not a thing for him. And I think I'm picking Jamal Mosley of being coach of the year, because that team went 20 games in 2022. I think 36 games in 2023 to 46 games in 2020 to this season. Okay, they're the deal, and I think this team is going to do something special in the playoffs if they beat Cleveland. Now I head to the Western Conference. But my biggest team that surprised and impressed me was, I will say, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Listen, last year they were in the play-in, and they end up being the number one team in the West this season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, another, I think he should be mentioned as an MVP, but most likely Jokic is going to win MVP. This guy is good. And Jeff Program, I mean, I know that he is technically a sophomore, but he's having a hell of a rookie year. I mean, if not for Victor Wembanyama, he should be rookie of the year, in my opinion. I mean, they got some very good players like Jalen Williams and Jalen Williams as well. I think OKC. Look, I know that people are not sold on them because of their inexperience, but let's see how it goes. I think OKC is going to have a good playoff run, hopefully. My other favorite teams that surprised me, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, listen, Anthony Edwards is a deal. He's an all-star. He's a superstar in the making. Listen, I thought the Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns pyramid would not work, but it actually kind of did. I think Rudy Gobert should be proving that he's one of the best defensive players in the game. Karl-Anthony Towns, I know he missed some time due to an injury, but he's having another hell of a year. He became an all-star once again. And I like that coach. I think he should also be mentioned as coach of the year candidate. I forgot his name. Forgive me. And please, if you have the chance, please respond. What's the name of the coach, please? So I hope I can remember. Now I'm gonna put my disappointing teams in the East. The first team that disappointed me is the Milwaukee Bucks. Listen, Milwaukee Bucks, yes, they're back in the playoffs, but as a third seed. Whoever thought the Bucks would be the third seed? Most people thought they would be a number 1 or 2 team in the Eastern Conference, or let alone best in the NBA. But that team has been disappointing. I mean, listen, Giannis having another MVP type season, averaging 30, 10, and 5. And, I think he will be the first player in league history to average 30 and have a 60% shooting 60%, which is never have done it in the NBA history. But the team is in disarray. Remember, they start the season before the start of the season. They got a new head coach in the name of Adrian Griffin, who has been a long-time assistant, who also used to play in the NBA. And just days before training camp, they trade Jrue Holiday for Damian Lillard. And listen, as much as I love Dame, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just don't think he's the right fit of this team. And you saw it this season. And the team is in disarray. They fired Griffin just 43 games of the season, in which the Bucks were 30-13. And then they added Doc Rivers. I think since then, they're 19-20. So they were a game over under 500 since that coaching change. To be honest with you, they didn't have to change. They just got let it stay all out. Let's see how it goes. But Milwaukee has been disappointing. Listen, Chris Middleton, yes, he's going to be. He's a very good player, but he's always hurt. Brook Lopez not the same person he used to be, but it is what it is. The other team that disappointed me was the Detroit Pistons. Y'all realize that they have the worst record in the NBA since the start of the 2021 season. They just surpassed their franchise record for most losses this season. They lost 68 games, okay? And, basically, some people thought they would lose 70 games, but they managed to win 14 games. But, the only bright spot you could say is Kate Cunningham, Ivy, and that kid Duran. But that team, by the way, after a 2-1 start, they lost 29 in a row. They didn't even win a game in November, and even towards the end of December. This team got a lot of ways to go to get back into their winning ways. Because listen, the Pistons haven't been relevant that much since the going to work era in the mid to the early to the late 2000s. But that team has a lot of ways to go. My other disappointing team is Washington Wizards. That team is, I don't know what's going on with Washington. Listen, Jordan Poole and Jordan Clarkson oh my God, I forgot the other guy's name. You know the guy who used to play for the Lakers? Kyle Kuzma, excuse me. They're a team that I don't understand. Listen, I thought they were going to win at least 30-plus games, but unfortunately that was not the case. Listen, they're going to be a lobby once again, and who knows what will happen to them. Listen, Jordan Poole, listen, ever since that punch by Draymond Green, he hasn't been the same player. Yes, he could give you points. He has good stats, but I don't know. But it is what it is. Now for the Western Conference, I want to put the Sacramento Kings. They were the most disappointing teams. Listen, I thought that team was going to be at least a top 2 or 3 seed, at least win at least 50-plus games. But, they've been struggling. They lost some games in which they should have won. They blow leads. Now they probably may. Now they probably will play in the postseason, or maybe without their 2 players. Kevin Huerter, their 2 guard, and Malik Monk, in my mind, is probably one of the best 6 men in the game, who was out for an injury. So yeah, I would say that's my other team to be disappointed. Oh, and forgive me, I forgot to mention the Houston Rockets are one of my biggest surprise teams of the West, because they kind of exceed expectations. Yes, they won 41 games, they didn't make the playoffs, but at least they built something special. Jalen Green is improving, Sengun is improving, Dylan Brooks, he's had a good year, and Red Van Vliet, brings in some bringing some championship experience. And also, we gotta give credit to Ime Udoka. I know people will always bring up what happened in Boston, but the guy can coach. And he really brought a culture back into Houston. Okay, guys, that's my my top of the teams that impressed me and disappoints me. Which teams do you think I should have put under surprise and disappointment? Please let you know, and later soon I will give you my review of the 6th episode of X-Men 97, and also more videos to come. So anyway, hope you have a blessed day. Peace.